Good morning, team. I'm here this morning to go over the new installation of the 480 volt light fixture. It's going to be going into our northeast parking lot. I would like to start off by introducing myself. My name is Jeffrey Partain. I was a union electrician for 11 years prior to becoming a safety specialist, where I've had 6 years experience. I am the new electrical or environmental health and safety specialist here at the facility, and I'm glad to be helping you here today in today's morning briefing. The purpose of myself conducting this morning's pre-job briefing is to reinstill the importance of the JHA, because it's so often forgotten that we pass it off as a daily task. Team members have forgotten its true purpose. It's a safety tool. We must ensure proper worker engagement to ensure the JHA tool is being used properly. By proper team engagement, we can use critical thinking skills to identify the task in order to complete the operation. By doing so, we can identify the hazards that affect the employee by doing those tasks, and identify the proper controls to protect each individual worker each day to prevent accidents and injuries. That's the main purpose of the job hazard analysis. For today's parking lot installation, I have personally conducted each individual's JHA process today with the help of the safety manager and your electrical supervisor. We started off by collecting information, documentation of the tasks included for today's process. In doing so, we identified and evaluated the hazards involved and collected the proper control measures to protect each individual today to ensure a successful process and so everyone can make it home safely. Before we go over today's job steps, I would like to give a brief review over the parts of the JHA agenda. First, you'll see the job steps. Job steps cover over a systematic process for each individual to understand what must be conducted to complete the operation, and to follow for new employees, management, or auditors. That way they can follow over to complete each individual operation if they need to do so, if they're not familiar with the task that's being conducted. Next, you'll see your hazards. Each hazard will correlate with the job step. That way you instill and understand what can be expected or what to be aware of while performing those job tasks. And additionally, you'll also see risk assessment and the remediation measures to follow in order to prevent accidents and injuries. The risk assessment will give you a conditional-based control greater risk evaluation of each task to understand the risk level that you expect. That way you will be aware of the heightened risk of the conditions of that job step. And the remediation measures will tell you if there's engineering controls, training, PPE, or special skills and training or others that you need to follow to understand what needs to be in place to prevent accidents and injuries. The first job steps we would like to cover over today is the preparation of the operations. Technician number 1 and 2 would like to begin job step 1 by inspecting and gathering the equipment and tools required to complete the job operations. When I mean inspecting your PPE and equipment, you want to make sure your tools and your PPE are sufficiently capable of protecting and completing your job successfully. Your electrical insulated tools need to be sufficient and not in a condition where they would cause you or your fellow workers harm. Your PPE, such as your fall protection equipment, you need to successfully inspect your stitching, make sure there's no fray in the webbing, and make sure they will protect you in case of a fall. So make sure you do proper inspections prior to even starting your task. Step 2, Technician 1 will take your evaluation card out of the job package that you will be given today to do a pre-evaluation of the aerial work platform that you will be using in today's operation due to the manufacturer's requirements. Step 3, Technician number 2 and number 3. This is a critical step, so be aware. You will be isolating the hazardous energy of the light fixture by following parking light isolation procedure number 15. It will also be included in your work package. So make sure you utilize proper policies and procedures of our facility to ensure your safety and use proper training of lockout tagout of isolation of the equipment. And then step 4, Technician 1 will use our traffic rules and operate the equipment aerial work platform to the designated location, while Technician 2 and 3 will properly barricade off the area to impede pedestrian traffic and unwanted personnel within the affected area to prevent accidents and injuries. In the preparation section of the operation, the hazards and control measures that need to be followed are as follows. The hands hazards are pinch points and cut conditions. So make sure you follow proper training protocol and use proper PPE such as gloves in these situations. Now, electrical hazards. This is a critical aspect of the job, so be aware of arc flash hazards and shot hazards. With arc flash, make sure you're wearing your proper arc flash PPE. That will require ATP value of 4 calories of protection. You should have arc flash pants, shirt, balaclava, and face shield for arc flash protection, with the addition of your safety glasses and hearing protection in your work boots. Shot protection will require rubber insulated shot protective gloves and rubber and guards for the rubber gloves. And be vigilant of whenever you're exposed to an potential arc flash of the percussion force. So be aware of any housekeeping protocol you need to be aware of this, in case of those accidents and injuries. Okay. You're also going to be performing a condition with the aerial work platform during these preparations. So be aware of elevated work protocol. Make sure you're wearing proper fall protection requirements, harnesses. We also have a double lanyard or 100% tie-off rule here, so make sure we wear double yo-yos at all times. Anchor points, have one tie-off per anchor on our aerial work platform. Make sure we follow those proper standards too. Situational awareness. Obviously, we're going to be operating aerial work platform to the job site. Make sure we watch out for pedestrians and also be aware of housekeeping protocols. We want to make sure nobody gets hurt, so watch out for slips, trips, and falls. Don't get complacent out there today, everyone. And also noise. Always wear your earplugs when operating the aerial work platform. It can get pretty loud over a long period of time. In addition to that, we expect some humid weather today in the later periods of the day. So let's make sure we take frequent breaks, stay hydrated out there, make sure we have proper protection for UV tolerance, and Wear loose-fitting clothing when possible. Obviously, we can't do that while we're performing electrical hazards, but be vigilant. Watch out for ourselves. Use the buddy system when we can, and let's make sure we have a safe day. We'll go into operation steps next. Operational steps will include the following. As technician number 2 will enter the basket, as technician number 1 raises the basket to a sufficient level to access the existing light that's going to be changed. In doing so, technician number 2 will start removing the access plate to the existing wiring. At this point, technician number 2 will start step number 2 of the phase. Step number 2 will require verification of absence of energy by utilizing a company-provided multimeter. They will conduct live voltage testing by conducting ground to phase and phase to phase voltage testing. In doing so, to ensure absence of voltage on a 480 volt system. Step number 3 will require technician number 1 to determinate the existing wiring system of the existing lighting. Ensure to take note that if the existing wiring is not properly labeled, to do so at that time. In additional, after wiring is complete, determining of the wiring is complete, technician number 2 will begin to unbolt the previous lighting from the bracket to remove. And step number 4 will require technician number 2 to install the new light fixture to the bracket, while technician number 1 will terminate the new wiring of the system per the manufacturer's nameplate that's included with the new light fixture. Hazards and control measures to be aware of during the operational tasks should be understood, such as standard required PPE to protect from cutting and abrasion hazards. In addition, the shock hazards should be evaluated also during the voltage testing steps. So obviously you want to wear your shock protective equipment such as rubber insulated gloves with the protectors still. In doing so, when working at heights, the technician will be required to wear their fall protection equipment, such as Fall Pro, such as their harnesses, with double yo-yos, which, as we stated prior, you will also need to be understanding that you one connection per anchor on the aerial work platform. With an addition to these requirements, we will be using tool tethers when utilizing any tool on the aerial work platform when working at heights. Also, team members, we need to stay focused to the environment. Additionally, because we're going to be dealing with the surrounding personnel that could be working around us, we want to make sure they stay over barricading. We have the noise hazards. Additionally, just like the previous steps, and don't want to have any slip, trips, or falls for those hazards. Make sure we utilize proper housekeeping. We just want to make sure we have the situational awareness that we don't introduce any additional hazards we don't have to, okay? Obviously, you have the potential of getting hot. Make sure we have proper protocol, take frequent breaks, stay hydrated out there. Additionally, with that, we do have one potential new hazard. When we access the existing light, we had previous history of pests within those light systems, such as wasps or bees within our area. So make sure, if we need to, we'll get us some non-aerosol cans of bug spray. We got some one-shot cans. We can put some of that exterminator Sullivan in, and we can take care of those pests if we need to, okay? So just be aware of that. Additionally, if any of our team members are allergic to any or have any conditions, we do not want to put them in those situations. So make sure we communicate that to your supervisors before the job commences. Okay, after we finally buckled up the connections, we verified that in step 9, technician 2. That's your starting step, is verifying the connections. Technician number 1 will lower our basket to the lowest point and exit the aerial work platform before starting step number 10. Step number 10 will require technician number 2 and 3 to re-energize the hazardous energy by following the isolation procedure parking lot number 15 to re-energize the system. At that point, technician number 1 will verify the light fixture is operating correctly. Step number 11, technician number 1. If the light fixture is working properly and we do not have to re-access the light fixture again, at that point in time, we will take the aerial work platform back to its designated position, following all traffic rules. And at that time, step number 12 will require all technicians to perform proper housekeeping protocol by cleaning all tools, equipment, and personal protective equipment from the affected area. We want to make sure we leave the area just the way we found it. The completion hazard and controls application, we need to follow the hand hazards training and control measures we used during the pre-operation tasks also. Use your training knowledge and use gloves to prevent accident injuries. Electrical hazards, just the same as pre-operation de-energization steps, we're going to use during re-energization. We're going to utilize arc flash protective shirts and pants, safety boots, safety glasses, hearing protection, 12-calorie balaclava, and face shield to prevent accidents and injuries in case the arc flash occurred. And we're also going to use rubber insulated gloves and rubber protective guards to prevent shock. Additionally, elevated work hazards, we got to prevent those by utilizing our harness, Fall Pro, with 100% protection with double retracted lanyards, lifelines, prevent accident injuries there. And additionally, we got the situational awareness practices. We want to make sure we don't have no slips, trips, and falls. Use proper housekeeping protocol. We want to make sure we don't have any pedestrian injuries. Use proper earplugs at all times. Be aware of the temperatures when we're cleaning up the affected area outside. Make sure you have loose clothing if needed. By that time of the day, it's going to be pretty warm. So let's make sure we look out for each other. Take frequent breaks. Stay hydrated. Make sure we finish out on a good note. Now at this time, I would like to go over the requirements to complete this operation. Prior to performing this task, each team member will need to meet the following training requirements, such as job hazard analysis, PPE, working at heights, electrical safety and arc flash and NFPA 70E training, hearing preservation and aerial work platform operations. This task will also require a 45-foot JLG, which we already have positioned behind the maintenance shop here, barricade stanchions and barricade tags, and a 6-foot fiberglass safety retrieval device in case an accident does occur during isolation or re-energization of electrical energy. Now the task PPE requirements involved will be as follows, such as safety glasses, hard hats, chin straps, and tethers while we're working at heights, safety boots, earplugs, safety glasses, the standard equipment. You're also going to have your Fall Pro harness, your dual self-retracted lifelines, tool tethers, ART-rated clothing, as we already talked about, 4-cal rated. Your balaclava obviously is going to be 12 calorie, and your face shield also is going to be 12 calorie or 10 calorie, whatever the standard is right now. Uh, Shot rated rubber gloves, protectors are going to be required for shot protection. Also, as everybody checks their job package, they'll also see the permits that are required, such as their working at heights permit, that will be filled out prior to work. In addition, in their work package, they'll also find the evaluation card for the aerial work platform that will need to be filled out prior to operation of the 45-foot JLG. Now, at this time, I would like to give each team member the opportunity to discuss any issues or concerns they might have prior to perform this operation. As discussed earlier, we're expecting pretty warm temperatures today, mid to high 90s. It's going to be sunny out there, so we're expecting high humidity. Use caution, stay hydrated, use the buddy system, take frequent breaks when possible, okay? We're not going to get in a rush. Safety is our main concern, okay? We want to make sure we end this in a good note, okay? We want to make sure everybody makes it home safely. Now, obviously, we're going to be working at heights today, and we're going to have to make sure we incorporate an emergency action plan when we do that. That's our policy. So while we're filling out that working at heights permit, we will conduct an emergency action plan to ensure, in case any accidents or injuries do occur during the operation, we have plans in place to incorporate what we're going to do in place when that situation does occur. Okay. Now, pedestrian traffic, we want to make sure no one is going to affect our job or we're going to put anybody at risk. So make sure we stay focused, be aware of those conditions. We're going to have proper barricading up. We're going to have somebody attendant out there at all times. We're going to direct traffic. We're going to make sure no one's going to affect our job task, and we're not going to affect anybody in the affected area. And additionally, we're going to communicate any changes or variants of our job tasks that we've already discussed. If you identify any issues or concerns, you stop immediately. You notify your manager or me or or any other person in the safety team. That way we can address it immediately. We do not move forward until everybody feels completely safe, okay? Number one thing on our mind is make sure everybody makes it home, and we want to make sure your family sees you at the end of the day. We do not want to make any bad phone calls to anybody. All right? So thank you, and I appreciate everyone's time. And like I said, if you need me or you need my manager, feel free to call us. That's what we're here for. Again, thank you, and I appreciate you.